Hey, what's going on, you Weeping Weezing? Coming at you with my Destined Rivals set review and buy list. The set will officially release next Friday, but will be available for play on PTCG Live the Thursday before. So it's coming up pretty quick here, less than a week away from being able to play with the new cards. The buy list will be linked in the description below, so you can check it out over there. It's just going to take you over to a Google Doc where you can take a look at all the cards that I have put on it. Let's go ahead, let's jump into it. Ethan's Pincer is the first card. Now, the Ethan's cards, besides the Typhlosion, didn't make its way onto my buy list. I don't think they're going to be that good. But if you are playing some kind of Ethan's Ho-Oh deck, this would still be a solid inclusion in it. The Vice Grip here for 20 damage for a Grass Energy. And then for triple colorless energy, you do 70 plus 100 more damage if one of your Ethan's Pokemon was knocked out by one of your opponent's Pokemon's attacks during their last turn. In the current card pool of like good decks, this would be good against Charizard, obviously. So something you'd want to maybe include in an Ethan's Ho-Oh deck, style deck, or something like that. Up next, we got the Yanmega. This did make its way onto my buy list as a 4/4. The Yanma is nothing special, but it does have 70 HP, which is worth noting, so you can Buddy Poffin for it. Then the Yanmega EX got that Buzz Boost ability, a super powerful ability. Once in your turn, when this Pokemon moves from your bench to the active, you may search your deck for up to 3 basic Grass Energy and attach them to this Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. And then it also only has 1 retreat cost, so theoretically you could like switch into the Yanmega and then retreat the Yanmega out of there and then just like build up energy that way to get energy in play for, I don't really know, but the ability is really, really good. And the attack is also pretty solid. Triple Grass Energy plus a Colorless, Jet Cyclone, 210, move 3 energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. So overall, this card just seems pretty solid, to be honest. I don't think it's like something incredibly crazy broken, but 280 HP on a Stage 1 EX, pretty good. The ability, pretty good. And the attack is solid as well. So I could definitely see this being like some kind of partner Pokemon with a future other Pokemon in the format. Someone in my chat recently suggested this with Raging Ball. I don't think that makes sense over just playing Ogerpons, but maybe that could be a cool partner. But I think with the ability as good as it is, the stats as good as they are, and a decent attack, I think this could definitely find a home in a competitive deck in the future. Up next, the Cynthia's cards did make their way onto my buy list. The Cynthia's Roselia and Roserade, a 3/3 on there. I do think the Cynthia's Garchomp stuff does have potential. 70 HP on the Roselia is the only thing of note here, so you can Buddy Poffin for it. And then the Cynthia's Roserade, of course, that Glory Yell ability. Your Cynthia's Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, so a pretty big damage boost on a Stage 1 Pokemon, not bad. Then Grass Double Colorless, 80 damage, nothing crazy, just not even good, right? Yeah, all right, let's move along. On next is the Shaman. Of course, this makes its way onto the buy list, of course, a super competitive tech inclusion type card. I don't even know what you would categorize this as, but you guys know what I mean. Ability, Flower Curtain, prevent all damage done to your bench Pokemon without a rule box by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So this will shut down stuff like Water Pawn and Screamtail and Gardevoir. This doesn't stop damage spreading from stuff like Dragapult, but still a super powerful Pokemon. And it did make its way into my buy list as a 2/of. We've definitely had decks in the past. I'm thinking about Manaphy and Mew, decks in the past that included Manaphy and Mew that sometimes included 2 copies because it was such an important card to include in the current metagame or in the current format that prizing it was so bad for you that you wanted to play a second of them. So Shaman makes its way into the buy list as a 2/of. Up next, we got the Crustle, a new wall Pokemon, everyone's favorite. First, we got the Dewebble, 70 HP, of course, so you can get it with the Buddy Poffin. And then the attack is actually pretty relevant for the Colorless Energy Ascension. Search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon and put it onto this Pokemon to evolve it, then shuffle your deck. And the Crustle has got a pretty annoying ability, the Mysterious Stonehouse. Prevent all damage onto this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent's Pokemon EX. So kind of like a tankier Stage 1 Mimikyu. And of course, with the attack from the Dwebble, you can get there a little bit more aggressively. And then the attack for Grass Double Colorless, Great Scissors, does 120. This attack's damage isn't affected by any effects on your opponent's active Pokemon. So also has a Shred attack to go with it. So made its way into the buy list as a 4/4. I mean, with an ability like this, with an attack like this on the basic, like there's definitely some potential for the Crustle. Maybe not on release, once again, but I think we will get to the point where it makes its way around. Team Rocket's Tarantula and Team Rocket Spidops. Now, I'm not too high on the potential for the Team Rocket's Mewtwo deck initially on release, but the cards are so powerful, I think some point in the future it will come around and will be a pretty powerful deck. Tarantula, nothing special, only 50 HP. I guess maybe that's worth taking note of. The takedown, though, does do 30 damage for a single Grass Energy, so you can KO stuff like Badoo and Cleffa, which is kind of nice. But it's all about the Team Rocket Spidops, of course. Once in your turn, you may attach a basic Grass Energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. That's great, of course. And then Grass Colorless, 30 damage times the number of Team Rocket's Pokemon in play on your side of the field. So max we can do 180 damage. Actually, when I first read this, I thought it was for each of your bench Team Rockets Pokemon, so I thought we were capped at 150. 180 allows us to KO stuff like the Mew EX, and honestly, that's kind of it. We can more easily 2-hit KO stuff like Dragapult as well, I guess, so that's kind of nice. And even allow us to be able to 1-hit KO stuff like Charizard EX as well. So, yeah, Team Rocket Spite Ops, pretty good. It's kind of the rest of the Team Rocket stuff that isn't doing enough to help it out. It's kind of the whole package is missing something, I feel like. But in the future, I think there's so much potential because the supporter lineup for Team Rockets, when we get to it, it's just kind of crazy. There is this... dude, I don't know how to pronounce this Pokemon's name. It's got that oil machine gun attack for our grass energy. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon 6 times, do 20 damage to it. You can choose the same Pokemon more than once. I actually misread this when I first talked about this card on the channel, but yeah, you can actually pick the same Pokemon more than once. I thought you couldn't, but you can. So this could be still kind of cool. Some kind of meme TM Devo deck. Oil machine gun a couple times, hit him with a TM Devo. Like being able to be this selective with your damage placement is kind of crazy. Like this doesn't happen very often in the Pokemon TCG where we have attacks like this that allow you to be so selective with your damage placement. Of course, we do have Shaman coming out, so it's going to make this card quite a bit worse if Shaman is popular in the format. But yeah, it didn't make its way into the buy list, of course. It is just kind of more of a meme card. Moving right along, I guess it's worth talking about this Teal Mask Ogerpon. Actually, maybe it's not. This guy's just not very good. So we're going to go ahead and move along here to the... Oh, we could talk about the Rapidash real fast. I didn't make its way onto my buy list. It is pretty weak as far as draw engines go, but it is still a draw engine. It's a stage 1 here. The Ponyta does have 70 HP, so you can Buddy Poffin for it. The ability just says once on your turn, you may draw a card. Of course, currently we have so many better options in this. Zoroark, Dracloak, Revavroom, of course, if you have the excess energy to work with. So the Rapidash, it's probably not great, but who knows, a couple rotations from now, maybe this is the best we got. So the Rapidash could make its way around. But yeah, it didn't make its way into the buy list. The Team Rocket's Moltres EX did, though. The first attack here for a Fire and 2 Colorless Energy. The Flame Stream 110 to your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon takes 50 less damage from attacks. It's kind of whatever. It's really all about the secondary attack here. Fire, Triple Colorless, Evil Burn. Discard a Team Rocket's energy from this Pokemon. If you do, discard your opponent's active Pokemon and all cards attached. That's not bad. Now, setting this up does seem difficult. It's only made its way onto my buy list as like a one of. Seems like it could be a cool tech inclusion for decks that go out of their way to set up a really big Pokemon and make it really hard for you to KO. Instead of KOing it, you could just fully discard it. You don't get any prize cards, but even think about like Dragapult in the current format. They take like 3 or 4 turns to set up a single Dragapult with 2 energy. They finally get there, and if you can't one-hit KO it, discarding it might be just as good. Now, against Dragapult specifically, I don't know if that'd be the route you'd want to take with like a Mewtwo Team Rockets deck, but I could definitely see a deck coming up in the future where it's like, this thing is too big for us to handle, and we need to get rid of it now, and then Team Rockets Moltres could be the answer to that style of deck. The Ethan's Typhlosion, the only Ethan's Pokemon that made its way onto the buy list. I absolutely love the potential of this card. I think it's super, super sick. The Cyndaquil here, only thing worth noting, 70 HP. Also does 30 damage with the Ember. That KO's Cleffa, that KO's Badoo, KO's Pichu, I guess, as well. Discard an energy from this Pokemon. Then Ethan's Quilava here is the most important card of the line, I guess. This made its way into the buy list as a 4/4/4 as well. Once in your turn, you may search your deck for an Ethan's Adventure, reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. Ethan's Adventure is a supporter card. Search your deck for up to 3 in any combination of Ethan's Pokemon and Fire Energy. And then, of course, we have the Ethan's Typhlosion with the Buddy Blast for a Fire Energy, 40 damage plus 16 more damage for each Ethan's Adventure card in your discard pile. So you get your Quilavas online, you get all your Ethan's Adventures out of your deck, and then you get them in the discard pile with, I don't know, Earthen Vessel, Ultra Ball, Research even, get them in the discard pile, and then we're hitting hard with the Ethan's Typhlosion. We can be hitting up to 280 damage if we get all 4 Ethan's Adventure in the discard pile. Then you can play stuff like Maximum Belt or Black Belt, and I've seen quite a few different damage modifiers being included in the deck over in Japan, but you can hit the numbers to be able to KO stuff like Dragapult pretty reasonably. Gravity Mountain was like another one that people were playing. So yeah, you can get those numbers pretty reasonably. Another Ethan's Pokemon here, once again, did not make the buy list. The Ethan Slugma, 80 HP, cannot be Buddy Poffin for, worth noting. 20 damage from the Steady Fire Breathing as well, so you can KO Badoo, but you can't KO Cleffa. And then we got the Ethan's Macargo, with the ability Melt and Flow. If this Pokemon has no energy attached to it, has no retreat cost. Kind of cool. Triple Fire Energy, Lava Burst, 70 damage. Discard up to 5 Fire Energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 70 damage for each card you discarded in this way. That's quite a bit of damage. And with the Ethan's Ho-Oh, that's how we'd accelerate energy to it. We'll talk about that here in a second, but I don't think this is going to be competitive, so it did not make the buy list. But will still be a really cool meme deck to put together. I'm definitely going to try the Macargo at some point. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be a deck that I'm ever considering bringing to a major tournament. Up next is that Ethan's Ho-Oh EX. And if I am going to get one of the Ethan's Pokemon wrong in terms of is it going to be competitive versus is it not, it probably is going to be the Ethan's Ho-Oh EX. Because even though it's not that great of an attacker, and the other Ethan's Pokemon you could set up aren't that great, it is still a good source of energy acceleration. The Golden Flame ability, once on your turn, you may attach up to 2 basic fire energy cards from your hand to one of your benched Ethan's Pokemon. So it can accelerate energy to itself. And then what you do with that energy kind of depends on what you're playing it with. There's like a Armor Rouge Ho-Oh deck floating around where you use the Ethan's Ho-Oh to accelerate fire energy into play, and then Armor Rouge moves it from your bench to your active. So that could be kind of cool. And then the attack itself, like I said, not great. Fire, 160, heal 50 damage from each of your Pokemon. That's actually a pretty decent amount of healing. And it heals from all of your Pokemon, not just your bench Pokemon, not just your active Pokemon, but all of them, which is pretty cool. I feel like Pokemon, or the designers of the game, have been adding a lot more healing to cards than we've seen in the past. It feels like healing is maybe starting to catch up with where like damage and HP numbers are at a little bit. This is like potentially a ton of healing against certain decks. So not a terrible attack situationally. And it's really all about that fire energy acceleration. But like I said, I don't think we'll see it being competitive overall. So Ethan's Ho did not make my buy list. Up next, we have this Blaziken line here. Now, Blaziken EX is a card that I think has potential. We've been seeing it pop up a little bit in competitions, nothing crazy, but it's got a long life ahead of it. And this is a better Torchic, so this made its way onto my buy list over, well, not over another Torchic, but it's the best Torchic that'll be coming out that'll be available to play with Blaziken EX. So if you have any hopes of playing Blaziken EX, then pick up these Torchics. Made its way onto the buy list as a 4 of. The Combusken also made its way onto my buy list as a 4 of, because if you're playing like a TM Evo heavy style build, you could definitely be playing like 3 or 4 Combuskens. Probably not 4, but it did make its way onto my buy list as 4. Probably be like 2 to 3 depending on the build. This one's got 100 HP. A combustion for a colorless does 20 damage, and then the double kick, flip 2 coins for this attack does 40 damage for each heads for fire and colorless energy. It's better than the other Combusken. And then the Blaziken here is also a potential inclusion to run alongside any kind of Blaziken EX deck you're playing, because the Infernal Legs is actually a pretty good attack. For 2 fire and a colorless, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 120 damage to one of your opponent's benched Pokemon, while also doing 120 damage to the active Pokemon. So it's 120, 120. That's not bad. Snipe attacks, of course, are going to become a little bit worse once the set releases, because Shaman comes out, but it all comes down to, is Shaman even being played? Sometimes it will be, sometimes it won't be, probably, and that's where cards like this Blaziken could have some takeover potential, as long as you're playing it in a Blaziken EX deck. Like, I don't think I'd play it by itself. Up next, we got the Misty's cards. The Misty's cards are pretty underwhelming, to be honest, overall, but the Misty Psyduck here is a really unique ability, so it did make its way onto my buy list as a 1-of, because the ability is so unique. You never know when cards like this are actually going to be useful in a deck. Once on your turn, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may discard the bottom card of your deck. If you do, discard all cards attached to this Pokemon and put it on top of your deck. Really weird ability. It can't infinite your deck. If you're thinking that, you have to have cards in your deck to use this. So you're always discarding a card first. If you can't discard the card, you can't put this back on top of your deck. So it doesn't make you have an infinite deck, but it's such a unique ability. Had to make its way onto the buy list as a 1-of. The rest of the Misty's cards here, we've got the Misty Staryu, 70 HP is the only thing of note here. And I guess the attack is worth noting here. 20 damage, flip a coin of heads. Your opponent's active is now paralyzed for a water. Not bad. Misty Starmie here, sudden flash for a water, 60 damage. If this Pokemon evolved from Misty Staryu during this turn, this Pokemon does 80 more damage. Not great still, but it all kind of combos with the Misty's Gyarados. Misty's Magikarp here has the protecting ability that the Teapot basic Pokemon has. As long as this Pokemon is on your bench, prevent all damage and effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. So you're protected from stuff like Dragapult because of the effect of the attack. And you're also protected from stuff like the Water Ogerpon or the Darmanitan attack from the End Zoroark deck because of this ability. So fully protected Magikarp, pretty nice when it only has 30 HP. And then Misty's Gyarados, of course, is doing 70 damage. Discard the top 7 cards of your deck. This attack does 70 damage times the number of Misty's Pokemon you discarded in this way for a single water energy. So pretty efficient attack in terms of energy cost. But yeah, I mean, that's why the Misty Psyduck works. Like if you get like 3 or 4 Misty Psyduck in play, you cycle them all to the top of your deck, but you're like discarding a bunch of cards off the bottom of your deck, and then you're still discarding 7 cards off the top of your deck. Sure, you might hit 4 Misty Psyduck, but you're hitting you know, 3 other cards, yeah, it's a mess. It's not very good. The Misty's cards are just not good. Could make a cool meme deck. We'll see the maximum potential that it has, but not great. Misty's Lapras here swim together for a water energy. Search your deck for up to 3 Misty's Pokemon, reveal them, and put them to your hand. Then shuffle your deck. So pretty powerful attack on the Lapras, not gonna lie. Up next, we've got the Team Rocket's Articuno. Made its way onto the buy list as a 2 of. Could be a format kind of similar to Shaman, where we want to protect our bench so heavily that prizing this Pokemon would be so devastating that we'd want to run 2 in the deck to kind of negate those variants. Prevent all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to your basic Team Rocket's Pokemon. So this would prevent stuff like the Angelite from the Sylveon EX, the spread damage from the Dragapult's attack as well, and then the attack for water and 2 colorless energy does 60 damage. If this Pokemon has any Team Rocket's energy attached, it does 60 more damage. So nothing crazy. I guess if you're playing up against something that's weak to water, it could be a cool attack for that, but honestly not great. Here's Cynthia's Feebas and Melodic, but neither of them are very good, so we're going to keep going past those. There is the Huntail here. This did not make its way onto my buy list, but it looks like a pretty cool deck to build. We have the Huntail here. Whenever one of your water Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, you may put all basic water energy attached to that Pokemon into your hand instead of the discard pile. And then the Gorbis here does, for a water energy, 30 damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. Before doing damage, you may attach any number of basic water energy from your hand to this Pokemon. So the way this works, and the unfortunate part about this is they both evolve from Clamperl, which can make things awkward to have 2 different stage 1s needing to be in play at the same time from the same evolution. But if you get them both set up, and you got some spare Clamperls on the bench to be able to become Gorbis or Huntail, you can attack with a Gorbis, try and get, I don't know, if we get 10 water energy on there, we're doing 300 damage, and then we get knocked out, and then we put all the water energy back into our hand instead of the discard pile, and then we attack with a Gorbis again, and then we reaccelerate all the energy to the Gorbis, and then we could do 300 damage once again, or even more. So you probably have to play like 12 or 13 water energy in here, so you can 1-hit KO stuff like the Dragapult EX. Another drawback of this combo is we have to maintain that hand the whole time. Now, if our opponent Ionos us, that doesn't really matter because the Gorbis hasn't been knocked out yet, but that means we can't play any Shuffle Draw supporters or discard your hand supporters either. We'd have to play something like, what would we have to play? We'd have to play like just cards that draw on top of your hand, or like search out specific stuff out of your deck. Like, it would be possible, but it does not seem particularly strong, and managing both those stage 1s constantly being in play would be tough as well, but could make a cool meme deck for sure. If you get a all set up and going, it honestly does seem pretty powerful, but getting it set up and going is definitely going to be the struggle for sure. That's going to be the tough part. Got the Sea Titan here. Did not make its way onto my buy list. When I initially read the ability, I had high hopes, but when you put the card all together, it does not seem that great, to be honest. 300 HP, Sea Titan EX. Whenever your opponent plays an item or support a card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to this Pokemon. So you can't be Prime Catcher, you can't be Boss's Orders, you can't be... Is there any supporters that like remove energy from Pokemon right now? Like Team Stargrunt or something? Can't be Team Star Grunted. Water, colorless, Crush Press, 140. You may discard a Stadium in play. If you do this, attack does 140 more damage. So 280, still coming up short on knocking stuff out like the Dragapult EX, but that is enough damage to KO stuff like Raging Bolt and Zoroarks and all that stuff. And you could play Maximum Belt or other damage modification cards, so you can swing a little bit harder, but also the triple water colorless energy costs are going to be pretty tough as well. I guess Turbo Energize. That's what I've been theorying with this deck, is like you could play it like an Arven's build with Turbo Energize and maybe TM Evo to get your Citadels into Sea Titans. Also, Citadel's got 100 HP, so you can't Buddy Poffin for it. So, I don't know. It seems kind of like a mess, to be honest, overall, and I don't have high hopes for the Sea Titan. But with all these things that I'm saying, I don't think are going to be competitive. I would love to be proven wrong. Like, I would love it if the Sea Titan's good and all the other stuff that I've said, the Misty stuff. I mean, come on, we both know the Misty stuff is going to be bad. But if it ended up being good, that'd be kind of cool, right? That'd be kind of cool. We got the Team Rocket Zapdos here. Colors, jamming, wing, 30 damage. You may move an energy from your opponent's active Pokemon to one of their bench Pokemon. Then lightning colors, 60 more damage if you have a Team Rocket's energy attached to it. So the same attack as the Articuno. But the first attack could be decent. Situationally, it did make its way onto my buy list as a 1-of, just because it's like a Team Rocket's Pokemon that seems like it has some utility through its attack, so why not? Actually, there's one more Ethan's Pokemon on my buy list, the Ethan's Pichu, as a 1-of. The Sparking Draw 30 damage, draw a card, allows you to KO stuff like Cleffa and Pidoo. That's for your treat, and you get a card which is not bad. Doesn't seem terrible. Now, there is the Elekid in the format that basically does the same thing, except it is arguably better because the Elekid puts 30 damage anywhere on your opponent's side of the field. The Ethan's Pikachu is only hitting, or Pichu is only hitting the active here. So is it really worth the trade-off of drawing a card to not have the more utility of the attack that can attack anywhere on the board? I'm not sure about that, to be honest. Team Rocket's Ampharos is not great, but it could make, once again, another cool meme deck. Team Rocket's Marie Pierre, Provisions. Search your deck for an item card, reveal and put it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Not terrible. 60 HP, can Buddy Poffin for it, but can also get sniped by Dragapult. That's unfortunate. Thundershock here for Lightning Colors, 50 damage to the coin of heads. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. Not bad. And then with the Team Rocket's Ampharos here with the Darkest Impulse. If you have Team Rocket's Ampharos in play, whenever your opponent plays a Pokemon from their hand to evolve one of their Pokemon during their turn, put 4 damage counters on that Pokemon. The effective Darkest Impulse doesn't stack. So you can play this with a bunch of TM Devos, and like they evolve their Pokemon, they take 4 damage, you TM Devo their board, they evolve again, they take 4 damage, you TM Devo their board. You can play 4 TM Devo, but yeah, I don't have high hopes for Team Rocket's Ampharos, I'm not gonna lie. Moving on. Where are we at? Team Rocket's Pichu, Zeraora. All right, up next we got Zeraora here, and there's definitely a decent amount of potential that Miraidon is going to make a comeback, especially with the Electric being revealed in the black and white set, which we're not getting in this set, but we'll be getting in the future, the next set. Yeah, the Zeraora here, triple lightning energy, Thunder Blitz, discard all energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 210 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon EX. That is not bad, especially because Shaman does not protect rule box Pokemon. So if your opponent wants to use their Pheasantipity, we no longer have to find Boss to be able to hunt that thing down for our last 2 prize cards in a Miraidon deck. We can just set up Thunder Blitz and knock it out off the bench. That sounds pretty good to me. Like I said, Shaman's not protecting it. I kind of dig that, to be honest. I like the Zeraora, so it's made its way onto the buy list as a 1-up, especially because I do think, well, I thought I liked the card before Electric got revealed, but now that Electric got revealed, I like it that much more, I guess I would say. We got the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX, which I don't know. I don't even want to really say that it's going to be like a massive letdown, because I feel like this card is not that hyped up. When it first got revealed, there's a lot of people saying this is good, a lot of people saying this is bad, and the results from Japan do suggest that it is not great, but the stats are so high. The rest of the whole Rocket's engine is also so powerful. I'm definitely holding out hope for Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Maybe on release it's not good enough, but maybe a rotation or a couple sets from now, it'll see some more impact in a format. 280 HP basic EX Pokemon. That's a lot of HP. We got the Power Saver. This Pokemon can't attack unless you have 4 or more Team Rocket's Pokemon in play. So you're basically playing it as a mono Rockets deck. And then for Psychic Colorless, 160, you may discard up to 2 energy from your bench Pokemon. This attack does 60 more damage for each card you discarded in this way. So this did make its way onto my buy list, of course, as a 3-of. I don't think you'll ever play 4. It could happen. You might be 1 short, but yeah, I think 3 should suffice for the Team Rocket's Mewtwo. But obviously combos with the Spite Ops really, really well, and the rest of the Team Rocket stuff, which we'll get here in a second. One of them being the Team Rocket's Wobbuffet, which also makes its way to the buy list as a 1-of. Psychic Colorless, Rocket Mirror, move all damage counters from one of your bench Team Rocket's Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. This is a super powerful attack. Now, we've seen attacks similar to this in the past, but most of the time they would just kind of mimic the damage that was on your bench Pokemon. It wouldn't actually heal. This heals one of your Team Rocket's Pokemon and moves it all from your bench to the active, which is definitely a step up from that for sure. So super powerful attack here on the Team Rocket's Wobbuffet with that Rocket Mirror, especially when the Pokemon you're probably going to be healing is your Team Rocket's Mewtwo, which has 280 HP, which is pretty hard to one-hit KO. So definitely a decent amount of synergy there between the Team Rocket's Wobbuffet and the Team Rocket's Mewtwo. And also you can power it up in a single turn with the Team Rocket's energy. So yeah, the Wobbuffet's attack is pretty crazy. If you ever pull that off, you better be winning that game, that's for sure. Team Rocket's Chingling here also made its way onto the buy list. It's got that ringing noise attack. Discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Pretty good when you can put your opponent down to a 1-card hand with something like Iono, or even like an early Unfair Stamp. The Stevens cards also made their way onto my buy list, and they made their way onto my buy list before the Genesect EX just got revealed. That'll be coming out in the black and white sets. That thing seems like it definitely levels up the Stevens cards quite a bit, but Stevens Carbink, 2 of on the buy list. Stone Palace, as long as this Pokemon is on your bench. Each of your Stevens Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. Not bad, especially when the Metagross has like 340 HP. Yeah, definitely don't hate it. The effect of Stone Palace doesn't stack. So I put it as a 2 of on my buy list because I think prizing it seems really, really bad. But yeah, having 2 in play does not make the damage all of a sudden become 60 less or anything like that. 2 retreat cost kind of sucks, and then Psychic Double Colors for 80 is nothing special, but it's all about the ability. Team Rocket's Mimikyu, pretty powerful card here. Not as crazy as I thought it could have been, but made its way into the buy list as a 1 of Psychic Colorless Gem Mimicry. Choose an attack on your opponent's active Terra Pokemon and use it as the effect of this attack. So not bad. Being up to copy Dragapult's attack, pretty good. Copying a Charizard in the late game, pretty good. Psychic Colorless energy cost, works with Team Rocket's energy, pretty good. Also free retreat, that's pretty good. Also you can Buddy Poffin for it. It's all good for Team Rocket's Mimikyu, except the 60 HP. It would like 70, but it can get sniped by Dragapult. Got the Team Rocket's Dottler here. Clutter Radar, look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck, put them back in any order. Nothing crazy. Team Rocket's Orbeetle is kind of cool, though. As often as like during your turn, you may move 1 damage counter from one of your Team Rocket's Pokemon to another of your Pokemon. And then for Psychic Double Colorless, 40 damage is attacked as 40 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So the ability is the cool part. Maybe you could play some kind of like tank Mewtwo deck. I mean, it's got 280 HP. You get a Bravery Charm involved. That's 330. It's possible. Yeah, nothing too crazy with the Orbeetle, though, I don't think. It would definitely be some kind of meme deck. Did not make its way onto my buy list, unfortunately. And we move on. Where do we stop? Team Rockets. All right, I'm just figuring out where I am at. All right, next is Ethan's Sudowoodo. This did make its way onto the buy list as a 1 of. It's got 210 HP, or 110 HP, excuse me. For the Fighting Energy, impound, 20 damage during your opponent's next turn. The defending Pokemon can't retreat. It's pretty good. We got a lot of Pokemon like this in the format that people have been playing. The Nacli, the Maractus, and this is kind of just like a better Nacli because it's got more HP. Or maybe I should just say a different Nacli. It does do 20 damage, but the benefit of attacking with Nacli as like a retreat lock Pokemon is that you use it against stuff that has fighting resistance, so you're actually doing 0 damage, and that would still apply for Sudowoodo, but Sudowoodo does have 110 HP, which could make it better, and its second attack is definitely better because Nacli doesn't have a second attack. 2 colorless energy, attempt Mimicry, flip a coin of head, choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks, and use it as this attack. So not a bad panic button in a pinch, for sure. So on the buy list as a 1 of. All right, now we're to the Cynthia's, so many owners' names. Cynthia's Garchomp here. We got the Gibble, 70 HP, so we can get it with Buddy Poffin. The Cynthia's Gabite, super powerful card here with the ability, once in your turn, you may search your deck for a Cynthia's Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Insanely powerful ability. And then, of course, we have the Cynthia's Garchomp. First attack for a fighting, Spiral Dive, 100 damage. You may draw until you have 6 cards in your hand. Not bad. Double fighting, 260, discard all energy from this Pokemon. But, of course, we have the Cynthia's Rose Raid, and we can utilize that to be hitting for 130 with the Spiral Dive or 290 with the Dragon Buster. 290 is KO on most things. We're not quite going to get to the Dragapult numbers, but if we play some more Rose Raids, you get 2 Rose Raid in play, then all of a sudden we're looking at that 320 damage to 1 KO stuff like Dragapult. Still coming up short on Charizard, but maybe we have to go for 2 KOs in that matchup. I'm not sure, but yeah, the numbers are super high for Garchomp, and they'll get even higher when we read the tool card, but yeah. Just kind of insane numbers, so I do have some faith. I have some hope for the Cynthia's Garchomp EX in the future. And let's keep going on here. We have the Team Rocket's Arbok, and this did not make its way onto my buy list because it seems a little too gimmicky. Team Rocket's Ekans here does have 70 HP, so you can Buddy Poffin for it. The Arbok here has a really, really good ability. If this Pokemon is in your active spot, your opponent can't play any Pokemon that has an ability from their hand, excluding Team Rocket's Pokemon. And then for 3 Dark Energy, Spinning Tail, this attack does 30 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. The problem with this card is attack sucks. Attack is just really bad, and your opponent can definitely overpower you pretty quickly. And with something that doesn't have an ability. Now, I could possibly see a situation in competitive play where there's so many cards that have abilities that are the only things being played that this could end up being good, but I highly doubt it. And maybe there's something to partner with that makes a little bit more sense. Some kind of hit and run strategy possibly could be okay with this. It does have 2 retreat costs, and Air Balloon is coming out next set, so hit and run with your Team Rocket's Arbok. I don't know. Could also play Team Rocket's Arbok with Alakazam EX as well. That could be interesting. But yeah, overall, I think it's a little bit too much going on to make the Team Rocket's Arbok work, so did not make its way onto my buy list. Up next, we got the Team Rocket's Crobat EX here. First, we got the Zubat, 50 HP. Your opponent's active is not poisoned for a dark. Obviously, nothing crazy there. The Team Rocket's Golbat is where things start to get interesting, though. Sneaky Bite as the ability. We've seen this before. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. Not bad. And then Team Rocket's Crobat has a similar ability, but it puts 2 damage counters on 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. And then for 2 Dark Energy, Assassin's Return does 120. You may put this Pokemon into your hand, discard all attached cards. So that does work with the Team Rocket's energy. Now, I don't know if you'll be attacking with the Team Rocket's Crobat, but the spread damage from the Sneaky Bites and the Bite About can be pretty good. I could definitely see being where this card kind of finds a home just for its ability more so than its attack. We'll have to see what the future brings, but yeah, made its way onto the buy list as a 4-4-3 on the buy list. Up next, we got the the Coughing and Wheezing. I'll mention these real fast. Did not make their way to the buy list, of course. Rocket's Coughing. If this Pokemon is in the active and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if this Pokemon is knocked out, search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon with Coughing in their name and put them onto your bench. So pretty cool ability, to be honest. And it doesn't have to be Team Rocket's Coughing. It can be any Coughing, and that synergizes well with Team Rocket's Wheezing. All-out Explosion for a Dark and a Colorless. 40 damage is attack does 40 more damage for each Pokemon in play with Coughing or Wheezing in its name. Once again, not Team Rocket's. It could be any Coughing or Wheezing. So yeah, you could get like Area Zero involved, get a Terra Pokemon into play. But even at that point, we're still not hitting very hard. Also, to cost a Dark and a Colorless, there's only 4 Team Rocket's energy that you could play. So yeah, overall, Team Rocket's Wheezing deck, not great, but could be a cool meme. Cool meme. Team Rocket's Murkrow is up next. Did not make its way onto the buy list. I don't even know why I'm talking about this one. This was just terrible. It was just a Team Rocket's card, so I was like, let's talk about it. But I was like, wait a second, this guy just sucks. Team Rocket Sneasel here. This one is pretty good. Onto the buy list as a 1-up for 2 Dark Energy. It's got the Backstab. This attack does 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each damage counter already on that Pokemon. So pretty powerful attack, to be honest. Kind of like a cleanup attack instead of Boss's Orders for an effective 2-hit KO on something. You can just snipe it off the bench with the Backstab. And it does work with the Team Rocket's energy as well, which is pretty cool. Cynthia's Spiritomb also made its way onto the buy list as a 1-of. Raging Curse for a colorless energy. This attack does 10 damage for each damage counter on your benched Cynthia's Pokemon. All of them. This damage isn't affected by weakness. So yeah, pretty good card here as well, the Cynthia's Spiritomb. Move along here. The Marnie's cards. The Marnie's Grimmsnarl. Now, this card is already out on PTCG Live through like the battle deck or whatever, but it officially releases in this set, so it's not legal until NAIC. The Marnie's Impidimp here, 70 HP. Got the Filch for a draw card, pretty cool. We got the Marnie's Morgrim here, 100 HP, 2 Dark Energy does 60, and then Marnie's Grimmsnarl. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 5 basic Dark Energy cards and attach them to your Marnie's Pokemon any way you like, then shuffle your deck for 2 Dark Energy, 180. This attack also does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Super powerful card here. When combined with Frostlass and Monkey Dory, I will make note of that. If there was no good partner to put with Marnie's Grimmsnarl, this card probably would not be great, but because there is such a good partner pair in the Frostlass and the Monkey Dory, the Marnie's Grimmsnarl, Frostlass, Monkey Dory deck is super sick. I definitely think it'll be like a tier 2, tier 1 deck, at least on release, and then past that, who knows where the metagame goes, of course, but yeah, I'm expecting big things from Marnie's Grimmsnarl on the competitive side of things, so a 4-3-3 line is on the buy list. And we'll keep moving here. Stevens Metagross also made its way to the buy list, and I believe I put like a 4-3-3 as well here on the buy list for the Stevens Metagross, because you can play pretty heavily through TM Evo, and now that we know what the Genesect EX does, having a heavy count of the evolutions definitely makes a ton of sense. Stevens Beldum here has got that 70 HP, of course, so you can Buddy Puff him for it. The Stevens Batang, 100 HP, nothing crazy. Stevens Metagross EX, X Boot. Once on your turn, you may search your deck for a basic Psychic Energy and a basic Metal Energy and attach them to one of your Psychic or Metal Pokemon any way you like, then shuffle your deck. So super powerful ability. Decent attack for Metal Double Colors, 200 damage. But you get the Card Bank involved, and you effectively have a 370 HP Pokemon. That's kind of a lot of HP. Also, you could play it with either the Steven Stadium or the Metal Stadium, which further reduces the damage that this would take by 30 more. So an effective 400 HP Pokemon that self-accelerates energy into play, even though you are only hitting for 200 damage, which is not great. You're not KOing stuff like Raging Bolt or Pheasantipity or Ogerpon. But if they're not one-hit KOing you, I mean, maybe you just go back and forth and 2-hit KO each other. And I don't know. I would hope Stevens Metagross comes out on top. Now, on release, I don't think this card will be great, but I think the potential is super high for this one, especially once we get that Genesect EX. So the future is bright for Stevens Metagross for sure. Getting to the trainer cards here, there is the Team Rocket's Porygon Z, which I can talk about real fast here. 6 HP on the Porygon, that's great. We can use the Buddy Poffin to get it. Team Rocket's Porygon 2 here for 3 colorless energy. R command. This attack is 20 damage for each supporter in your discard pile with Team Rockets in its name. And the same attack here is on the Team Rockets Porygon Z, but it's only 2 colorless energy, so it works with that Team Rockets energy. And then the ability is you must discard 2 cards from your hand or use the ability. Once on your turn, you may draw a card. So the ability obviously is trying to synergize with the attack by getting supporters from our hand in the discard pile to then hit harder with the R command attack. But overall, yeah, not great, I don't think. A little bit too much going on. Cool meme deck, but did not make the buy list. All right, let's get into the trainer cards. All the trainer cards are 4 of, so I'm not even going to mention that. Any trainer card I talk about is on the buy list as a 4 of. Cynthia's Power Weight. The Cynthia's Pokemon's card statue gets plus 70 HP. That's just a lot of extra HP. That effectively makes Garchomp have 400 HP. Get the Roserades involved, you're hitting that much harder. Just, yeah, insane stats on the Garchomp. Now, we haven't seen very much success at all from this card. It's been out for a little while in Japan. We've seen like 0 success from it, but I don't know, the numbers are so high. I'm still holding out hope on it for sure. We'll see what the future brings as far as like other supporters that could be included in the deck, stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. Oh, I guess we do have the fighting tablet coming out with the Mega Pokemon that was revealed with Mega Gardevoir and Mega Lucario. There's a item card coming out that says your fighting Pokemon do plus 30 damage this turn. That would be a pretty good inclusion. That might be the tipping point for Cynthia's Garchomp. MC's Hype Up. This did not make its way into the buy list, I don't think. I'm like looking over here to make sure. Nope. Energy Recycler. Shuffle up to 5 basic energy from your discard pile into your deck. It's back. It's a pretty good card. It'll definitely see some play at some point. Ethan's Adventure. This is the card I was talking about that synergizes, of course, with the Typhlosion deck. Search your deck for up to 3 in a combination of Ethan's Pokemon and basic fire energy. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. It'll probably only ever have a home in the Typhlosion deck, but the Typhlosion deck does need it. Here is the Granite Cave. Steven's Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's, takes 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. So this isn't necessarily better. There's another stadium in play that says your metal Pokemon take 30 less damage when they're hit. This could be better. It just depends on what's in the metagame and what you're playing as well. Like if you're playing Revavroom with Steven's Metagross, which I did try and it was decent, then you'd want to play something like the other stadium. I forget what it's called, but it protects all your metal Pokemon because this would not protect your Revavroom. But if there's a lot of other metal Pokemon in the format, you probably wouldn't want to play that, and you probably want to play Granite Cave because you don't want to help them. You just want to help you. Yeah, so Granite Cave on the buy list, obviously. Judge is not getting reprinted. It does have the G regulation mark, so don't panic. Actually, do we care if Judge gets reprinted? I don't really care if Judge gets reprinted, but just so we know, it is the G regulation mark, so we're not gonna, it is gonna rotate next rotation. I don't think we have to panic. I don't think anyone cares if Judge sticks around. Sacred Ash, shuffle up to 5 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck. So a really heavy Pokemon recovery card. I mean, I guess if you're looking for a card to synergize with the Misty's deck, this would probably be a card to include in the Misty's deck. Like I said, the Misty's deck is not great, but put a Sacred Ash in there, I guess. But yeah, obviously on the buy list. Spikemuth Gym here, a broken stadium card. It only works with Marnie's cards, of course, but once on each player's turn, that player may search their deck for a Marnie's Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into their hand. Then that player shuffles their deck. Absolutely broken stadium card, obviously on the buy list as a 4 of. Team Rocket's Archer here, one of the many Team Rocket's cards we're about to dive into. You can play this card only if any of your Team Rocket's Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck. Then you draw 5, and your opponent draws 3. So potentially a super powerful early game disruption card. And it won't be that hard to find. I'll go ahead and jump ahead to read this one here because we have the Team Rockets Receiver. Search your deck for a supporter card with Team Rockets in its name. Reveal it and then put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Broken item card going along with a bunch of broken supporter cards. Yeah, like getting turn 2 Team Rockets Archers does not sound fun at all. Got the Team Rockets Ariana here, which is going to be the main draw supporter in any of the Rockets decks. Draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. If all of your Pokemon in play are Team Rockets Pokemon, draw until you have 8 cards in your hand. And if that's not crazy enough, we have Team Rockets Factory, which is once during each player's turn. If that player played a supporter card with Team Rockets in its name from their hand during that turn, they may draw 2 cards. So the way this is worded, you can play Team Rockets Ariana, and let's say you draw into an Ultra Ball and an Earthen Vessel. You can play Earthen Vessel, thin 2 energy out of your deck, play Ultra Ball, thin a Pokemon out of your deck, and then activate Team Rocket's Factory to draw 2 cards. So absolutely insane stadium card to go along with some insane supporter cards. The only thing that's lacking is like some insane Team Rockets Pokemon, which doesn't seem like we quite have, and we're definitely not going to get in the future, so we got to make do with what we got. But yeah, insane supporter lineup here, support lineup in general, because this is a stadium for the Team Rocket stuff. Team Rocket's Giovanni, also an insane supporter card. Switch your active Team Rockets Pokemon with one of your bench Team Rockets Pokemon. If you do, switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active. Absolutely absurd gust effect card here in the Team Rocket Giovanni. And like I mentioned, we got the Team Rockets receiver, so finding all these supporters on the turns we need them isn't really that difficult. Team Rocket's Great Ball here. Flip a coin of heads, search your deck for an evolution Team Rockets Pokemon, reveal it and put it into your hand. If tails, search your deck for a basic Team Rockets Pokemon, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Team Rocket's Intruder Bot, choose one of your opponent's face down prize cards. Wait, I don't even know if it's worth reading this card. This card did not make it onto the bio, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip it. Team Rocket's Petrol, search your deck for a trainer card, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. This used to be around in the format multiple times in the form of Skyla, and it always popped up. Some formats it was more popular than others. It was definitely around in quite a few formats, if I remember correctly. I think they reprinted it after a little while as well. So yeah, Team Rocket's Petrol probably won't be too much different. It'll pop up here and there in decks. Team Rocket's Proton, another broken supporter here, and synergizes super well with the Team Rocket's Receiver. If you go first, you may use this card during your first turn. Search your deck for up to 3 basic Team Rockets Pokemon, reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Absolutely absurd. You don't have to use it only on the first turn going first. You just can on the first turn going first. Yeah, just insane support. Just insane. It's just insane. Team Rocket's Venture Bomb. Flip a coin of heads. Put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. If tails, put 2 damage counters on your active Pokemon. So the Venture Bomb here definitely seems pretty powerful. A lot of people have been talking about synergizing it, or how it synergizes with Monkey Dory to kind of force damage in play. Either you put damage on their side of the field, or you put it on your side of the field, and you Monkey Dory it over to their side of the field. So no matter what, you're building up damage. No matter what, they're taking some damage. Team Rocket's Watchtower, super powerful control stadium here. Colors Pokemon and play both yours and your opponents have no abilities. I get asked this question all the time, and I feel like someone's going to ask it in the comment section. Does this kill off Pidgeot EX? Does this kill off Noctowl? The answer with these cards, like Shaman, does Shaman kill off the Zoroark Darmanitan deck, is if they are played, it's probably not very good for those cards. So if Team Rocket's Watchtower is played in high quantities, it's probably not great for Noctowl and Pidgeot. But if it's played in high quantities and no one's playing Noctowl or Pidgeot, why would you play Team Rocket's Watchtower? Then if everyone cuts their Watchtowers, now maybe you can play the Team Rockets or the Pidgeot and the Noctowl. So it's one of those things where it's kind of like a cycle potentially. Or overall, it might just be like, well, there's a little bit of Team Rocket's Watchtower in the format, so the Pidgeot decks and the Noctowl decks never get too popular, so not everyone wants to commit to playing Team Rocket's Watchtowers in their decks, so yeah, who knows? It could be some kind of cycle, no one could play it, and then the Noctowl decks are fine, or if the Noctowl decks become too powerful, everyone plays it, and the Noctowl decks die off for a little bit, but then people start cutting their Team Rocket's Watchtower, and the Noctowl decks make a comeback. The answer for these kind of questions, the answer for these kind of cards, like Shaman, like Team Rocket's Watchtower, it always just comes down to, yeah, it's not great for Noctowl. It's not great for Zoroark. If people play the Watchtower, people play the Shaman, but it always depends on, are people actually going to play the cards and what incentivizes them to play the cards, right? So just keep that in mind whenever future cards come out like that. That's always the answer to that question. TM Machine here. Search your deck for up to 3 tool cards with TM Machine in their name. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. This also made its way onto my buy list. Honestly, I forget what my reasoning for putting this on my buy list was. But I did have a reason. I promise I had a reason. I don't remember what it was. It's on the buy list. So Team Rocket Energy, the last card here, provides 2 in any type, or not 2 in type, provides 2 Psychic or Dark Energy when it's attached to a Team Rocket's Pokemon. If it's no longer attached to a Team Rocket's Pokemon, discard this card. And that's it. That is my Destined Rivals set review and buy list. Let me know what you think about this set in the comment section down below. Any cards that I didn't include on my buy list that you think I should have, that you think will have competitive potential, or vice versa. Do you think there was cards I put on my buy list that you think, I'm kind of crazy for putting on the buy list? You don't think they'll actually have competitive potential? Let me know, comment section down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.